What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Wonbyone Podcast. I'm your host, Obi Emegano. This is where we talk about the mindset, habits, the systems that drive success, both on and off the court. I'm here joined today with former Oklahoma State basketball player, professional athlete, Cam McGriff. What's going on, baby?
How you doing, man? I'm doing good, man.
Yeah, man. What's going on? Where you at? Before we get into it, man, just give the people a little introduction. Who are you? What do you do? Where are you from? Just talk to us.
My name's Cameron McGriff. I would say, who am I? I'm a son of God, son of Octavia Goodman and Nathaniel McGriff, basketball player, and a clothing brand owner as well. That's pretty much me in a nutshell. And, been at it for about 5 years. Professionally basketball, I've been owning a clothing brand for 3.
Okay.
And still counting. So,
man, well, obviously I know that about you. That's why we kind of got linked up with my man Torino, like you said, like you mentioned. Shout out to Torino, man. He was, met him through the Nigerian national team, which was kind of crazy. It was weird how that met, but connected us. And so he was like, man, I got a good dude, a hooper, you know what I'm saying? Play professional. He owned a brand. I think you guys would connect. He connected us. And so it's, wanted to get you on the pod and talk definitely about brand for sure, and then obviously about basketball. But man, where are you right now? What are you doing? Where are you?
I just recently I signed to the Canadian Elite Basketball League to play here in the summer. So I'm currently in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Okay. Just been here about a week, going through training camp, preparing for the season, which starts. First game is on Sunday, so about it.
First off, that's a dope little setup you got up back there, man.
It's great. Yeah, they got me up downtown. Playoff time for NHL. They love hockey.
Bro, what is it like that? So I think we went down there once in college, but I've never been to Canada really outside of that. What's it like down there? What is it like compared to the States?
Well, I will say this much. Being from Texas and the area I'm in Canada, is very similar. Alberta, Canada, they say is like the Texas of Canada. Very spread out, like geographically, I would say. Spread out, a lot of land, open land, flat plains, and things like that. So just driving around on a day-to-day basis, I really don't see too much difference from here in Grand Prairie, Texas, which is my hometown. And then culturally, it's still North America. Everybody speaks English. We've been with this basketball everywhere, right? So, going to Europe and things like that, we've dealt with, I'm sure, a lot of culture shock. I know that I have, and I think it's been the easiest transition for me to travel somewhere else and then play this game.
I want to talk. Have you played in Europe?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to talk about that. I want to talk we're going to get there here in a minute. I want to hear about that. So I want to hear about, because man, you've been everywhere. You've been in the G. You're over there in Canada. You've been overseas. I've only been overseas. So I want to hear what the experience is like, bro, for real. Like, what's your day like right now? You just got there?
Yeah, actually we just had our first off day. We dealt with 2-a-days, and that's given me a little bit of the European feel.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've done that, but the 2-a-days they kind of caught me off guard with that a little bit. But I'm ready for whatever. Getting back to that.
What does that look like? What's the 2-a-day look like, man? People hear it from me all the time, and they think I'm crazy. What does the 2-a-day look like?
The average person, you get up at. For me, I get up around 7 a.m., try to get to the gym around 9, 8:45-ish. Practice begins at 10. And the first practice in the morning is usually, a lot lighter, teaching, shooting, and things like that. And then come back home, probably recover, get on the leg boots, eat some lunch, take a nap, get back up, get to the gym around 4 o'clock to 5 to get ready for practice at 6 or 7, whatever the case may be, and then you're competing in the evening.
Yeah.
And then, you rinse and repeat and do it all over again. So that part of it is the grind, and then once you get through that, it's smooth sailing for the season. So
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
training camp is definitely the thing that can prepare me most for the season. But it's just a little bit different because it's the summertime. Um, I would say the weather's great and things like that. So
yeah,
it's just getting me through it.
yeah. So y'all got training camp until when? And then you said the first game is on Sunday?
Yeah, so we just got our first off day, so I think we'll probably tone it down for these next few days heading into Sunday. I would say.
So what's the Canadian League like though? I think one of my guys from here went to play down there, but what's it like? It's only a couple months. It's how many teams? What does it look like?
About 4 months. I think there's about 10 to 12 teams, roughly.
Yeah.
But the great part about it is I'm in Edmonton, and it's very similar to the G League in many ways. We're traveling. We're taking flights to Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver.
Oh, okay.
So,
Y'all,
we get
oh,
the full experience. And once I saw that, I was like, man, yeah, I think I would definitely hone in on it just to get that experience for sure.
it's real professional up there.
Most definitely.
One of
Most.
my guys, I don't know if you know Big Mike Frazier. You know
Yeah,
Mike. You know
yeah.
Mike Frazier.
I don't know him personally, but actually,
Yeah.
I spent time in France and
Yeah. Sure.
Metro, right? Yeah, if I'm
Okay.
not mistaken.
Man, he was my big homie in Poland. He been everywhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
This basketball world is so small. As you know, man, I've ran across so many people. Even I'm only 27. I don't know how old Mike is, but I remember watching him play at Florida. So
Yeah, he probably
yeah,
38 now, 30. Nah, he older. He about 38,
yeah,
39.
there you go. So
Yeah.
um, it's really cool for a full circle moment for me, just getting to play against a lot of those guys. Them not knowing that I watched them growing up as a kid.
So the Canadian League's only over the summer?
Yeah, 4 months. 4 months from May to August. hmm
Interesting. Little summer league.
Yeah, yeah. People should check it out. I think that as time goes on, more and more people. It's fairly new. It's less than 10 years old.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I just heard about it like 2 years ago, 3 years
mhm.
ago.
There you go. So they've been trying to get me to play just because they recruit a lot from the G League, and once I knew that a lot of summers I spent was in Puerto Rico as well. So
Okay.
I just wanted to switch it up this year and have a new experience.
All right, so talk to me, man. I want to take it back.
Okay.
College, Oklahoma State.
Okay.
You spent 4 years there?
All four. Last
Ooh.
of a dying breed when it comes to these kids these days, right?
Wow. What years was this?
2016 to 2020.
2016 to 2020. Who were some names that you played with?
Juwan Evans was my point guard my freshman.
Okay. Okay, he
That
was
was,
nice.
that was a blessing for me.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Tough.
big. Everything
Not
was served on a silver platter that year.
tough. Yeah.
Um, and then as time went by, Jeffrey Carroll, um,
Okay.
another All Big 12 guy, Phil Forte,
Okay.
my freshman year.
Yeah.
A lot of notable names. And then on my way out, obviously all 4 years, Lindy Waters. He was
Okay, I didn't know Lindy was there with you.
yeah,
All right. Yeah,
we were
we had Lindy on the pod not too long ago.
great. Yeah, man.
Yeah, yeah.
That was my running mate, pretty much.
Yeah.
We went through everything with each other, and it was a roller coaster throughout those 4 years. We got recruited by Travis Ford. Travis Ford ends up leaving. Brad Underwood gets the job my freshman year. He ends up leaving, and then
Brad Underwood.
Illinois, Illinois,
Okay. Okay.
Illinois, Brad Underwood, and then we have Mike Boyden for 3 years,
Okay.
sophomore through senior year.
So what was your role? How did you play? How has your role evolved since
Yeah.
since college? Are you still the same guy? How have you gotten better? What have you learned?
Oh man, a lot. And I think every year it's just so important to try to get better, right? I came in solely as an athlete out of high school. Not the most touted, highly touted, but I had some names. I had a lot of schools recruiting me. I think maybe a 4-star recruit. All that cute stuff, whatever. Um, and then throughout my years of development, I had to learn how to try to play on the perimeter more, and really didn't figure it out fully until maybe like the latter year of my senior year, which ultimately ended with COVID. So my senior year got shut down, Rudy Gobert touching the mic and all that stuff. Everybody remembers that. And that was my last game in the Big 12 tournament, and then an abrupt finish to my college career. I would say that my development as a player really grew the most when my first year pro, though.
What happened right after college? So were there camps? Did you get an agent? What did you do right after college?
So my junior year, I was in talks with leaving, like going and declaring for the draft.
Okay.
With it being my junior year, I kind of felt like there was unfinished business in many ways, right? Didn't have my degree, and I also wanted to leave somewhat of a legacy at Oklahoma State as well. Make it to the tournament, do things in the postseason that would have me remembered there. So I ended up staying for my senior year. Then my senior year, and once the season finished the way it did, obviously nobody really knows what to do. The world shuts down and I'm jobless. I eventually hired an agent, but there was no draft even being thought of right now. People was in survival mode, I would say. So I was just working out in my backyard, just trying to stay in shape, not knowing what was going to happen next. And the process was much different than most people as far as pre-draft goes. We're on Zoom calls. So, no different than what we're doing right now. This is how I'm ultimately trying to get into the NBA. And
Wow.
I felt like that was difficult for me. So I ultimately decided to go overseas that year and I signed to go play in Belgium.
Okay. That was a good, I bet that was a good place for you.
It was
Ostend,
great.
where'd you go?
I was actually in one of the domestic teams fully. I didn't play European competition. I was with Alst, Okapi Alst.
Ost, okay.
And maybe, I don't know, looking back on it, especially considering my resume, 2-time All Big 12 and things like that, should I have been there? Who knows, right? But I made the most of that experience, I would say. I was the only American on the team, and it was a grind. It was a grind. I'm not going to lie.
You ain't got to tell me.
Yeah, it was a grind. And then considering that in these places, they actually follow COVID rules, I would say. So the country's actually shut down. So
Yeah.
I'm there, and all I can do is go to practice, go to the grocery store, and go home.
Man, I remember I was in Le Mans, France at that time. And we
Okay,
had
I
to
played in Le Mans.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
What?
yeah. I played in Le Mans about 2-3 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, yeah,
Who'd
yeah.
you play? Who was your point guard?
Matt Morgan.
Matt Morgan.
He's actually
Light,
playing Bologna right now.
light skinned cat?
No, he had the dreads,
Oh.
afro, right-handed. Well,
Who
him
else did you have on your team?
and my guy Kaiser.
I don't know who that is.
He's actually Canadian.
You talking about Lamont?
Lam-
That I know who that is.
Yeah,
Yes, I know who that guy is.
yes, yes.
Yes. Okay.
He
Okay.
actually
Okay.
was with Chemnitz
I know who that guy
last
is.
year. Yeah.
So okay, all right, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when COVID happened, when I was in Le Mans, France, bro, we couldn't go outside without having a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Like I was running on the street, right? Everything's closed. I'm outside running on the street just to get some
Mm-hmm.
cardio in. I
Yeah.
got to run with the paper in my pocket because the police, they got the little barricades. You got to show them the paper and
Yeah.
just keep running. Like,
Mm-hmm.
bro, they were really shut down, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I came back to the States. We had everybody outside.
Yeah. Everybody's outside, doing their thing. Like,
I'm like, oh, gyms is wide open. There
yeah.
was nothing. I'm doing the same thing. Hey, pickup turned crazy during the summer.
Yeah.
During the COVID, pickup games were going crazy,
Oh
bro.
yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Everybody was home.
Everybody was home, and I think going back to that year, so Damon Mallet, I'm not sure
Damon Mallet.
who he is. He's actually a guy, 17-year pro overseas.
Ooh.
He was holding runs back in my hometown, and when I say like me the Jalen Wilsons, the Drew Timmies, the K Felders. We're all in the gym together, just
Okay.
you know, prepping ourselves for what we don't know is going to be next. But we're all getting better every day.
Can I? I don't mean to stop you. I
Yeah.
want to stop you real quick, man, because I had this happen to me yesterday, and I about lost it. I'm in the gym. Some
Mm-hmm.
kid, we got like some 8th graders, some 9th graders, some sophomores in there.
Mm-hmm.
Just a good mix of guys in there playing. It's like 6 guys in there. And this happens all the time. Is the younger guys will start getting mad. I'm like, oh, he's supposed to be like that. He's in 8th, 9th grade, 12th, 10th grade. Like he's older than me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And they get to making excuses for why they're losing and getting upset and throwing fits,
Mm-hmm.
and guys will start quitting. And I'm like, man, you can't quit because you losing a game against,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? We're playing. This is how you get better. And
Absolutely.
then
Absolutely.
I got guys asking me to be on the team with the other good guys, and I'm like, hold on, man,
Yeah. No, you can't do that either.
come on, man, what are we doing? I said, so we're gonna run everybody over?
Yeah. I mean,
And I
time.
think that's the mentality of these guys these days, man. And I'm no knock to those guys because they're good guys and they compete and they,
Mm-hmm.
but I see that with today's athletes, they want it to be easy, and I'm like, if it's easy, you're not getting better.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't want to blame it on anything, but even the idea of super teams is kind of it trickles down to that.
You're not wrong.
You know,
You're not wrong.
where else are you getting it from? Like the influence.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And I wish you're talking about guys that are bumping. Y'all was playing pickup, bro. I wish that guys would come and compete more and just
Mm-hmm.
compete and
Mm-hmm.
take a L. I
Yeah.
play pickup with guys. I take a L. Take a L. Go home.
Yeah.
Come back and get better tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But don't be so afraid. And that's like we talk about a lot of, with performance and mindset, specifically
Yeah.
guys like confidence and things like that. Well, your confidence comes from sharpening that iron. Like
Absolutely.
you can't play against guys I can't go play against a bunch of freshmen and beat them and think, man, I'm really good.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially that's what guys are doing. You got to go compete against the best, beat the best.
Definitely.
So I love to hear that, man. I love to hear when guys is, coming together and sharpening each other and working and playing hard, man. Real quick, so tell me what was Belgium like? You said it was hard. I know what that means.
Yeah.
Tell them what just kind of help them conceptualize what it looks like for you,
Yeah.
what it feels like though, because it's more than what it looks like on the outside. Obviously, it's just basketball and you're in a country, you're playing basketball, but just like the mindset shift that goes along with the people, how they treat you, how they look at you, how you don't know what's going on, how you can't read nothing, how just talk
Yeah.
about all of that. Talk about all of that stuff.
Most definitely. Well, it's a matter of you going in there with a blank canvas, pretty much. You have to approach it in a sense of being prepared to change in whatever way possible and adapt to what's around you because you're now like them, so embracing their culture becomes a thing, and ultimately receiving knowledge. I feel like it's best to know that like, I could learn from anywhere, and anybody, whether it was someone who may or may not want to teach me something just by observing. I've learned a lot. Like I said, I was the only American on the team. Guys didn't really become vocal with me. The other three other imports of mine were Serbian. I didn't know they spoke English until like you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't like they would never like speak to me and things like that. And then when we got on the court, boxed me out, flushed me out a few times. And then I also had to learn how to, be a little bit more aggressive as a professional. And that part of the game where it's like you have to play the right way, but also you have to like take care of yourself in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like make sure you go
Nah, ain't no slight about it. You gotta take care of yourself.
So it's like learning that edge of things definitely like sped up my process as a professional.
Yes, bro. Yes. Sped up the process as a professional. And that's kind of like what I say is, man, it made me grow up. So like,
Yeah,
you got to grow up immediately.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? And it's hard. It is an ego shot because
Yeah,
you go over there and you're like, I'm better than all these guys.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I can run,
Mhm.
I can jump, I can shoot, my numbers are better, this
Yeah,
and that. They don't want to play me. They
mhm,
boxing me out. They're not giving me
absolutely.
the ball.
Yeah,
And you're dealing with, and not every team, but obviously when you're a young guy, you go over there. That's what you're
sure.
dealing with.
Yeah,
You
because I am
know?
a guy, and the most inexperienced as well. And especially being like, ultimately of my color, they don't expect any skill,
Sure.
all athleticism and low IQ.
Sure.
Like that's just kind of our stereotype coming there. So, like I said, going back to learning the game, ultimately starting the season off towards the all the way up to the end, my head coach had to tell me, like, to be completely frank, you're a lot better than what I thought you would be. And that's like the most like condescending compliment you can get. You know what I'm saying? Like
Like,
they
I don't know how to take that, man.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like was that like thanks, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, but cool. Um because one thing about over there, I would say they will shoot it to you straight. They'll shoot it to you straight. Whether it's right or wrong, they will tell you at least, if you ask.
Yeah.
Um so doing that and then, finding things to do with my idle time. And I think that's ultimately where my brand birth was overseas. Because well go ahead. Yeah.
No, yeah, I want to lead that you led us there. What? Because
Yeah.
my next question to you was, what did being overseas teach you
Yeah.
about life? And I said it's a very broad question, but like when we're talking about life, we're talking about you had to learn how to adapt, right?
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with basketball. You got to learn how to adapt. And so you see guys nowadays, me working with some of these athletes, these younger athletes. I say younger, I'm 32 now.
Yeah.
Working with some of these younger athletes, and they just struggle adapting,
Yeah.
right? The same athletes that I was just talking about earlier, they're on a team and they're with guys that are good and they just get
Mhm.
washed,
Yeah.
and they're like, well, he's holding the ball, he's shooting the ball. What am I supposed to do? And it's like, figure it out.
Most definitely. And that's what
Figure
I
it
was
out.
forced to do, more than anything, because I was always a person reverting back to college, right? I never transferred. I didn't go to any other schools. And my thought process, which eventually I had to adapt to that too, was, if you start something, you finish it.
Mm-hmm.
So once I got there in September, I knew that I wasn't coming home until June. Like, and that just was what it was going to be. There was going to be days where I'm calling my mom. And I'm like, hey, let's look at flights right now. Like it's the middle of Christmas. I'm still here.
Yeah.
Like because FaceTime calls aren't enough.
Yeah.
Dealing with being away from home and first time I was homesick. Oklahoma State is 4 hours from Dallas, so it's like I'm not too far away from home. Now I'm 8 hours time difference, 13-hour flight away from home. I got to figure it out on my own. There's my support is so far away. I have to kind of have my own back in many situations.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. That's why you grew up so quickly though,
Yeah,
because you had
yeah,
nobody else to depend on.
mhm,
You had to do it all by yourself.
yeah.
You
But
know what
going
I
back
mean?
to your question as far as what it taught me about life, challenges are what's best for you. I would say because looking back on that time, I speak about how hard it was and things like that, but I wouldn't trade it for anything else.
Yeah.
It was some of the most character building months of my life, and developing a routine on a daily basis and doing that and just stacking days in a positive direction. Um, Ultimately helped me bring that back to the States and try to eliminate as many distractions as I could.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because it forced me to stay focused on what's most important.
So, at what point did you start to think about outside of basketball? Because I
Mhm.
know you're a brand guy now, right? What does that say?
No cosign.
No cosign.
Yes.
That's a tough little signature, though.
Mhm. Thank you.
Yeah, you see the script on there. We just made one by one, all black, just like that. That's dope.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, talk to us, man. When did you start thinking about outside of basketball? When did that click for you?
Uh,
What made that click for you?
being there.
Being overseas, okay.
Yeah, just being overseas alone, just knowing that it's like how close I am possibly to not, because there were times where it's like I'm not in the NBA. I'm not, I'm like, the heck with all of this. I just want to go back home. Like, so it's like there has to be something else I have to like, right? Like, find
Yeah.
someone of another passion. Um,
But everybody looks at you and they think you live in a dream overseas, though, right?
right? They think that until they understand it's like it's no different than like a regular day life. Like uh, just dealing with like sort of discrimination sometimes, in other places and things like that. I would have much rather be near my family in those times, and I try to explain that to my people as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Especially my rookie year, the money wasn't great. Um, you know, I with having a college degree, I'm like, man, like I can go get a job right now, and I'll probably be in a much better situation financially.
Mm-hmm. Sure, facts.
So
And you really gotta love it, man.
yeah,
I was
that's what
talking
it
to some
came down
guys this morning. Like
to. Mhm.
you really gotta love it. You
And
gonna
that
go over there, you're gonna be in a third division playing
Mhm.
behind, you know what I'm saying? Playing
Right.
behind some kids that
or
look like
almost
high
getting to
schoolers.
play in some cases. I have good friends of mine like that, and they love basketball more than anybody I know.
Mm-hmm.
So understanding that part of it really made me think about one, my identity does not lie in basketball.
Right.
That was just really the main thing that I like got from all of that. And then the concept of the brand itself is also just a sense of like, how did I get here? Um, Going back to my journey throughout high school and things like that, Dallas is a pretty big hub for high school basketball, I would say. We got a lot of notable names, and with that, it becomes a business pretty early
Mm-hmm.
for kids. People selling their kids. That's why you got all these kids going to prep schools and things like that. And it was pretty lucrative for some men. Ultimately, throughout my journey, I'm one of the biggest names in the area coming up, and it's when it was time for me to pick high schools, they kind of treated it as if I was picking my college. Like, this school is
Wow.
here, this school is there. And then I have my own high school, my public school that I'm supposed to go to.
Mm-hmm.
And just to give you insight, one of those schools were Prime Prep, which is Deion Sanders' school that he started while he was in Dallas. And they had a basketball program. Um, they were heavily recruiting me, right? Throughout that time. And when they invited me to his house, Deion Sanders' house, whatever the case may be, I'm about 13, 14 years old, me and my mother and I don't really come from much to say, like, and a lot of us don't, right?
Sure.
Especially like these kids in these situations, that's how they get you. And don't get me wrong, with the right intentions in mind, I think it's great, to get kids from a tough situation and put them in this to ultimately try to push them towards, their goals. But the basketball program, like I said, I don't think Dion was really affiliated with it. I think his name was just a part of it. Um, wasn't really much so about our best interest in mind. But I'll get to that later. I decided to go to my own public school. They was pretty salty about it and things like that. But throughout those 4 years of high school, those kids took off. And I'm watching that school, like, they're telling me before I decided, like, in their recruiting process, right? Um, if you sign to go to school here, before you even pick up a ball again, you'll be top 50 in the country. And then, like, 13, 14 years old, understanding that this is what politics is. And I'm looking at it right in my face, right?
Yeah.
You sign to go to school here, your family be taken care of, car, house, boom. 13, 14 years old, right? And my mom, she's looking at me like, like, we got to go back to the house. And like, we weren't in a terrible situation, but you know, if somebody's willing to take care of us, we thought it might be cool. But something instinctively, I would say, and I appreciate my mom and my father for letting me make the decision. We're just like, nah. I'd rather just go to the school because it's given to me, right? I didn't earn any of this.
Do you see that? Do you see that in today's day and age as
Oh,
well?
it's worse than ever now. Like,
Right.
and like I'm in the beginning of it.
How
So
do
now,
you how as a player, as a parent, what do you do?
I think that you don't give anything that you aren't earned, like that you don't earn.
Fair.
You work for everything that you get.
Fair.
And that's ultimately, so when I decided to go to my public school, my hometown school, that's what my high school coach did for me. I earned everything that I got. I literally started at the beginning of the season, my freshman year, and he took me out of the starting lineup by the end of the year. And as a freshman in high school, I'm on a high. Dealing with that my freshman year, it was tough.
Let's talk about that because that happens.
Tough.
How
It
do
happened a lot.
how do you deal with that? How do you deal with going from starting to
Mhm.
not playing, or even for the guys who aren't playing
Yeah.
and trying to get to the playing? How do you
Mhm.
deal with that mentally? What do you do?
Um,
What were your processes going on behind that?
everything goes back to ultimately nobody cares. Work harder for me.
Facts.
So you can pout about the circumstances. It won't change if you pout. The best chance of it changing is if you work. So chipping away at things, and then like I said, I didn't finish the season starting, but ultimately it built the character for me next year, and to have some type of momentum and be able to maybe not be in that situation again, right? Just learning from that. And as a 14-year-old, like I said, once again, it was great for me. But going back to um, the story of the school, right? Those 4 years, like I said, top 50. The kids are now top 5. Highlight Ball is Life mixtapes. They're following these kids everywhere, putting the machine behind them, if you will, right? I got to my senior year of high school. I ended up signing to Oklahoma State, and I went to go to one of the games because at the end of the day, the kids on that team doesn't really know what happened behind closed doors. They just know I decided to go to my public school, and they decided to go there, and we're still all friends to an extent. But the men behind the scenes know, right? So he sees me in the crowd and was like, "Hey, look, like we haven't heard of you since you decided not to come to school with us. How do you feel that you didn't get this cosign?" And my parents are behind me. Everybody in the crowd's like, "Ooh," like whatever. And it put a chip on my shoulder from then on out, right? My senior year of high school. But in reality, is like I signed Oklahoma State at that time. I earned it though. Obviously,
Yeah.
he might not think it was Kentucky or Kansas like they promised me, but I'll take Oklahoma State because it's mine. That was my.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like,
Okay, I'm understanding the story
yeah,
now.
it's all together, right?
Yeah, I'm understanding
Yeah,
the story now.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
because
yeah.
so they wanted you to come here. You felt like they were going to give you a handout. You wanted to go work for something.
There you go.
You chose to go here. You
Hmm.
thought you was going to be the big shot. You started, and then at the end of the season, ended up coming off the bench.
Well, so no, I went to my high school. I went to my public high school all the way through,
Right.
but I went to go support the other prep school,
Sure.
and they saw me just being from my high school because a public school versus like a nationally known prep school,
Right.
they're rock stars, right? And I'm
Right.
just in the city.
Because you didn't get
So
the cosign though.
exactly. So because I didn't run with them.
Mm.
So that was the deal that they were just kind of getting out to the world. It's like, yeah, like we got kids that are this much better than him. They got the machine behind them. Guys just hyping their names up. But then once we get to college, it's a level playing field.
Yes.
You know, one of the kids actually ended up going pro. once I see him pro again, level playing field.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like our
So
routes are completely different.
yes, and for the guys who are underdogs or undervalued or feel like they're undervalued,
There you go.
this is
There you
this
go.
is for you.
There you
This is
go.
for you. This is how these are the steps that you take, right? You have like it is earned. And then that's kind of what you're speaking on is how
Yeah,
you went and took that and you made it yours. You got to Oklahoma State off of what you did,
absolutely.
right? You worked for that. And so I think there's a sense of confidence and pride that comes with that. Like, nah, I built this. You can't take it from me.
I walk with a different type of energy.
Yeah.
And I sense that even to when, and we'll get later on to this, my path to when I actually got my cup of coffee in the NBA, I started in Belgium.
Hold on. Let's go there now because
Okay.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Let's go
yeah.
there now. I
There
want
we
to
go.
hear that. I want to keep it everywhere. I want to hear that.
Yes. So coming from Belgium, and then I finished my season out in Belgium. I go to summer league, right?
This is a crazy story, by the way. From what you just went to what you just described to now talking about being in the NBA. That's crazy. Let's talk about it.
It's and the crazy part about it is all in the same calendar year. So
Wow.
I finished my season out in Belgium, and my agent is telling me at that time, "Hey, look, you can double your money if you go to sign in the BBL." He's trying to get me like, just go ahead and get my deal done or whatever before I go home for the summer. I'm like, "Hey, look, like I never really gave the NBA a fair shake. Let's just see what our contacts look like whatever the case may be. Let's see what my name does, float around, whatever the case may be." I put together a solid year my first year in Belgium. New player of the year, something like that, like new incomer, something like I got some type of accolade.
Yeah.
There. So Charlotte invites me to summer league. Every this is all crazy. Charlotte invites me to summer league. There's some notable names around: James Bouknight, Kai Jones, Jello Ball, a great friend of mine. We're all at some summer league training camp. I'm killing. Still during COVID time, we're about to take a plane to go to Vegas. We're boarding. My bags are already on the plane. They call me and say, "Hey, look, Cam, you just tested positive for COVID. You have to go back to the hotel." Click. All right. I'm back at the hotel watching Summer League on TV. It's cool, whatever, watching guys kill. Cool. I'm thinking it's over. I'm calling my agent, like, let's get ready to go back overseas. I think, it's over with. But I did think I did really well while I was there. So I didn't participate in Summer League at all. Went back home and ultimately got again in the BBL in Germany. That was the team. I'm looking to close a deal with them. My agent tells me, wait a second, the Charlotte Hornets might want you to come in for actual training camp. Great. Cool.
Okay.
That's cool. So then we wait a little bit longer. I end up going to training camp with the Hornets. Ultimately, that means I'm leading into the G League. So I spent my first year in the G League. And people think overseas players are washed, right? So it's like, that's the stigma from NBA, that NBA, look. They think we sad, especially if you're American and you came from overseas.
Yeah, for sure.
The tribe.
For sure.
They think you sweet, right? And I'm killing. Dealing with the politics of things, right? Your draft picks two ways and things like that. They got to play in front of me and whatnot. But I'm still doing well in my point in time. Few months later, did great, 90, 50, 40, all that good stuff, which wasn't a part of my game.
You shot 90, 50, 40?
Yeah. Wasn't a part of my game coming out of college.
Standard.
Yeah. But just understanding, that year, Emmanuel Bland was my trainer all summer, that COVID year. We were inside of a rec center in Arlington, Texas, with COVID mask for like 4 to 5 months straight.
Stop.
Not knowing what we're going to do. Just loving it all. I'm not paying him a dime.
Yeah.
Like talk about people who
Yeah.
stand. So it's like love that guy to death. So then December comes around, Christmas Eve. I'm at home. You get a 10-day. I got a 10-day with the Portland Trailblazers, and right then and there, like all of those emotions from Belgium just flushed out of me. Right, like I'm just bawling my eyes out, crying.
That's love, bro. That's crazy.
And just bawling my eyes out, bro. Like, just knowing, like, man, like I said, calling my mom, trying to find flights, trying to figure out what I'm gonna do next. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go home, get a regular job, all those things, and then next you know, LeBron James is in front of me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
That's
it was
crazy.
a real moment for me, I would say, altogether. That was on New Year's Eve.
Dang.
And it was a bit of a high, I would say.
For sure.
Ultimately, it's like now me being in year 5.
He's still young.
Yeah, a little bit, right?
He's still young, bro. I remember when I was 27.
Yeah. Being in year 5,
I can say that now.
I'm just now leaning into the vet role of things and going back and speaking to him, just understanding, just like, just stay still, just stay still.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. Like, things can go here and there. If you ride the wave too much, you know what I'm saying, ain't no telling where it'll go.
Mm-hmm.
Versus like just being even keeled about things. So that's what I would tell my, Cameron, who was on that 10-day. But yeah, all in all, that roller coaster of a ride that I ended up finishing the season out that year, and yeah.
So what does it look like for you now, man? What's going on in your mind? Talk to me, Cam McGriff. What's going on in your mind? What are you thinking? You're right now. You're in Canada. You're about to play the summer with them. What do you think happens next? Where do you go?
Oh man, and I ask myself those questions these days because now it's a very pivotal point in my career, right?
Right.
Been in the G League for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I am 27. I'm knocking.
So I'm asking. I want to hear.
I'm saying it's a very pivotal point, and I think about these things all the time, and it's like things are adapting as we speak, right? 106 kids just declared for the draft. More than half of them will get drafted than undrafted.
Mm-hmm.
The NBA is getting older, essentially. Had you asked me if I was 27 now, about 3-4 years ago, I'm done even trying to think about the NBA or things like that, right? But it's like, why not?
Yeah.
Guys getting their first NBA minutes at 27, 28 years old. Me personally, I already have an overseas experience. I think that's where a lot of people lack at, as far as me being at my age. I started overseas.
Right.
I played Champions League. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, I don't have like, I kind of already have a head start.
Yeah, for sure.
People, you know what I'm saying?
For sure. It's always impressive when guys are that young and they play at that level in
Absolutely. And it was some of the most intense basketball.
It's always impressive, man, because when I know, when I started out, I had to start in the second division.
Yeah.
And I had to work my way up. I couldn't imagine jumping in the Champions League and being like, whoa.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Having it.
How it was out there, too.
Yeah, that's different, bro. I know that grind. It's different.
For sure. Underestimating things, and then underestimating, like I said, that level of play. But it really brought me back to the intensity, just playing in the Big 12. Mm-hmm. That's what it brought me back to, I would say.
Okay.
That mattered. And things like that. I was just a little bit more skilled, I would say. But more than anything, the physicality and whatnot, that's what it reminded me of when I played Champions League. Or even, we get to play against the EuroLeague teams as well. Mm-hmm. That's what that, duplicated for me throughout those years.
So the conversation is always, mm-hmm. and I know now that the G minimum is a lot higher than it used to be.
Yeah. Bring money But too, right?
You
So
know, the conversation. I'm looking at a guy like you. I'm like, if you go to Europe, you already know what it looks. You might end up in a decent
yeah,
situation.
a great situation,
Uh,
and it takes a lot for me to every summer turn down these deals, right?
for sure.
It
For
takes a
sure.
lot. It
For
takes a
sure.
lot,
For
and
sure.
I always think to myself, what do I necessarily want out of it? For me, I just want to prove myself again that like I can play in the NBA.
Yeah.
That's it. Because I didn't even finish my story with the 10-day. So on that 10-day, the night, we played LeBron. I actually did well. I averaged like 5 and 5
Okay.
on my 10-day.
Okay.
I get another.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
decent.
it's
What?
solid, right?
Yeah.
I get another call that night. Hey Cam, you just got COVID. You have to report back to the hotel.
No way.
Yeah. So now it's just like, unless somebody literally tells me I'm not good enough.
Yeah. You feel like you feel like you haven't really got a fair shake for
Then
real.
you know what I'm saying?
Like
Even
for
then,
real,
like
for real. And you still
exactly.
feel like you young enough to still get a fair
You know
shake.
what I'm saying? So even as far as like going places where the guys that I've been in Puerto Rico for 2 years as well. I was a young import there, and I'm playing against all former.
You have been doing the ex NBA. You've been doing the guy who was on the line of the NBA for the last 5. I
For the
know that. I
past
know
5 years.
I know that. I know those
Years.
routes.
So it's like
Yeah.
I get to see these guys up close and see how they move, right? Um, and a person who's inspired me even this past year, my close teammate of mine, and who's somebody who I feel like you need to have a conversation with, Jalil Okafor.
That was my teammate. That's my
I know,
brother.
I know. We need to make you
I
got.
know. I've been trying to
This is my dog.
man.
Right? This is my dog.
Yeah.
Seeing him, he tore his Achilles in the G League about 4 years ago.
He came and played with me the year after.
Yeah.
I came off of ACL, he came off Achilles. We both met in Spain.
Y'all on his fancy.
We're together. Yeah,
Just saw
so
that
so
video. I
yeah,
just saw the video.
we were in the Olympics together in
Yep.
Tokyo, and then we missed a year, and then the next year he and I signed, and we both played in Zaragoza
Yeah.
together.
He did. He definitely told me that, and I saw
Yeah,
the video that you guys posted.
yeah, that's
So
my brother, man.
that's my dog. Bro. So
Okay,
seeing him get his 10-day this past year, I'm just like, whatever happened after that, whatever the case may be, is whatever. It's just knowing that like that climb, the journey on the way there is the blessing. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
Like that's what I earned for it. I don't want to set up shop. You know what I'm saying? Not yet, at least.
for sure.
So it's like knowing that I have a target that I want to get to. I feel like that's my fire, right?
The journey is the reward.
There you go. There you go.
I say it all the time, man. That but you're in a good position, bro. You're a lot of guys. I'll be honest with you. I'm like, yo, go overseas,
Yeah.
make you some money. You're in a good position though, because
Mhm.
like, especially when you said you were doing a Puerto Rico thing, I'm like, oh, he's right there.
Yeah. Because I
He's
wanted to see. I wanted to see like this is a 10-year vet. This is a not 7-year vet. I want to see them up close. Emmanuel Mudiay, I grew up looking up to him, right? We're on the same court now, like,
yeah,
and against each other, like battling. And
yeah,
I'm okay.
and and
I know
and,
it's possible.
and you're still young enough that it's a real possibility. It's a real
Absolutely.
possibility, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's dope, man. I've been watching you, man, and I'm like, dang, I see you in the G. I see you. I see the highlights. I'm like, I'm rooting for you, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I want to see you get that call up and see what happens, bro. Because that's all
Yeah.
it takes, man. A guy, Gabe Vincent, bro, one of my
Yeah.
Nigerian
Yeah.
teammates.
Yeah.
Same thing. I remember before he got the call from Miami. I'm talking to him. I'm talking about it was weeks later. I was
Mhm.
talking to him. He's like, man, I think I'm just gonna go overseas. Like, I'm not getting
Yeah.
nothing. I ain't got no looks. He get a call, bro, and he's like, he got the 10-day. He got called
Mhm.
up,
Mhm.
and then it was just uphill from there, bro. And I was like, look how just like this, bro. Look how close it is. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's gonna be dope for you, bro. I wish you the best, man. Especially with with the no cosign, man, what's next with that? What are you doing with that? Is that a passion project? Is this something you see going further? Is this something you're doing right now? Just you like
So
to do?
it's in the beginning, it was just a form of expression, I would
Mm-hmm.
say.
Sure.
Now, like I've added some business acumen to it now, and you know, put a little bit more, effort into it in my off
Mm-hmm.
season and whatnot, and it's turned into something legitimate.
Mm-hmm.
We're in like about 10 retail stores across the country in the U.
Wow.
So I'm trying to continue to build from there. I got a collection, my first like full collection coming up
Okay.
soon.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
so like,
We need to chat, man. I want to hear about that. What your process looks like behind that, bro. I want to hear
yeah,
it.
man, it's a process, and
It's
it's also
hard.
therapy. Yeah, it's my therapy, man. Um, so I'm really excited about that. And
You got
then
a team behind it now? I mean, are you
yeah,
you doing a
it's
lot of it by yourself? Do
yeah, a
you do
lot of
you
it's by myself. I have an assistant that does my all my fulfillment and things like that back home.
Mhm.
Um, Still working out some things, and then like all my partners as far as the stores go and things like that. They help me with a lot of things as well. So,
How did those connections come about? Reaching
so
out, knowing people?
oh man, I have so many stories for days. So we can revert back to okay. I finished getting my 10-day. So now I got some good money coming in now. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, yeah.
NBA check, and this is when I really try to make my brand tangible to the people. I had like a couple T-shirts for myself and like
Yeah.
nearby me, and then I ultimately just started going in bulk. I signed to go play in Ike the
Oh.
the next year. Yeah, but no, right? Because
Right, right, right. Oh, I know. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
what we know about Ike is what we know about Ike, right? So then it's like coming signing for something and actually receiving something is two completely different things, right? um, so now I needed to find a way of making some passive income. I
Mhm.
was literally every single weekend. I was at every shoe convention, every sneaker con,
Okay.
um, little
Okay.
little flea markets.
Okay.
Every single weekend, standing up, posted up, selling my clothes, talking to people.
Okay.
Don't know that I play basketball or anything like that, right? They just know me as no cosign in these places. Um, and ultimately these relationships have grown to about 2-3 years. Some of these friends have stores. Some of these people are like retail agents and things like that. So those relationships just kind of carried on from time, and yeah, they've grown to things that now we've done projects with each other, and yeah, it's been
Man,
great.
when it comes to one by one, like, obviously we do kind of something similar, but
Mhm.
um, man, I went to like I think probably my second event
Hmm.
this year,
Yeah,
like pop up type of event, and it was
yeah,
it
yeah,
was cool. I think the people was called We on the Street. Shout out to them, man.
yeah.
They hosted a dope
That's
event.
my guy.
Oh
Trevor, my
yeah,
guy.
oh
Yeah.
yeah,
So like this is just from me being around for so long and things like that, man. Yeah, that's my guy. The guy who's head of that.
yeah. I had to shout him out, man. He did a
Yeah,
good job.
Kevin, great dude out of Houston. Um, we looking on actually working on something because whenever he does the one in Dallas, it's gonna be pretty big too. So
I might try to say, and that's the thing, bro. I haven't,
mhm,
when I started when I was overseas,
yeah,
and just in the last couple of years, I've been home, and so just been
mhm,
trying to like figure life out, bro. I've
yeah,
been
yeah,
home, ain't been hooping right now, just trying to figure things out. So
mhm,
I didn't know where I was going, bro. I was just
yeah,
making clothes and selling clothes because I liked it,
yeah,
making stuff
yeah,
that I
yeah,
like to sell. And then now as I'm home, I'm thinking, man, I need to start going to some pop-ups,
for
going to
sure,
some, and
sure.
I ain't reached out to nobody. I don't even know where to go. I just, you know what I'm saying? So I'm asking.
I'll tell you so many because there's so many things every single weekend is typically something going on, especially in somewhere like OKC. I try to like broaden it because I've been to LA.
Yeah.
Took myself to Arizona, Atlanta. Now I'm trying to go further and further out this year. But
Wow.
in the beginning, I'm taking my car, driving down to Austin, driving up to
Really?
yeah, car full of stuff.
Really?
Yeah,
I love it, man, because
yeah,
that's like, yeah, that's how it
yeah.
goes.
And the biggest thing that I've noticed about of it more than anything, because when I say no cosign, and I like, you know, I've told the story that I've just told you millions of times, right?
Right. Oh, I know.
Exactly, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's like it's sort of developed a community because it resonates with everybody.
Yeah.
Right? I don't like basketball aside, right? There's a large amount of people who feel like who don't feel like they are people who've essentially got things out the mud, took the stairs rather than taking the elevator,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
So you know whatever avenue you're a part of is kind of irrelevant to like what your character is about.
Doesn't matter.
You get what I'm saying? So me doing that and hand to hand is the most efficient way than anything.
I love hearing this from you,
Yeah, you
bro.
know what
I
I'm saying?
do.
So,
I love hearing this from you because personally I needed to hear that, man,
mhm.
because obviously we got a lot of things going on as business
Yeah,
owners and things like
yeah,
that, but you got to put for me it was just a good reminder like, man, if you got to put effort into that stuff.
yeah,
Like,
and face value, right? Because I
yeah.
feel that like when you articulate things, and I feel like what we've learned in basketball, the lessons people don't really get to like, um,
It's hard to make them tangible.
exactly right.
You
You can't,
can't really
can't
feel them.
duplicate some of the things that we've gone through to an everyday person, right? The overseas grind and things like that. People don't really get to experience that level of adversity.
Yes, bro.
So
Yes.
people, that aura literally like floats off of you. You know what I'm saying? Like
People,
it floats off of you.
bro, and as I've been in business now,
Hmm.
and not so much in the hoop world,
Yeah,
in the business world, I'm starting to realize, oh, that's why people love hiring athletes.
absolutely, absolutely,
That's why,
absolutely.
because
Yeah,
they to and I started to realize high achievers, I don't care what field you're in, we're all
yeah,
high achievers are high achievers
yep.
because because it's not about what field you're in, it's about the traits that you use to get there,
There you go.
right? It's
There
just a
you go.
vehicle, but the
There
core
you
is
go.
still the same.
There you go.
So if you're an athlete, if you're a high level athlete, basketball, football, tennis,
Hmm.
cheerleading, if you're a high level athlete, you had to gather all those core skills
There you go.
to take you
There you
there.
go.
And you could have easily went there, you could have went there, you could have went there, you could have went
Hmm.
anywhere, but you had to get that core,
Yeah,
those core skills to get there.
absolutely.
You
Because
know what I'm saying?
how you do everything.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly, bro.
80% how you do everything.
For me. This was probably my favorite part, man, because
Yeah.
my brand is my baby, man, and I'm
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying, and
Yes,
creating it.
absolutely. I know exactly
And
what
I
you
love it, man. And
mean.
we started with just a hat. I
Yeah.
got the baldy. I started with just a
Yeah.
hat, just to cover the
Yeah.
baldy. And then I
Yeah.
started wearing out the clothes. And then
Hmm.
then it was like, oh, it's a mean one by one. It was there was a meaning that it was my journey. It was
Yeah.
how I got to where I got
There
through
you
with
go.
all the injuries, right? I had to focus on the next step. Not
Mm.
like I want to be over there. I got to focus on what I can do right here. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? And so one
Yeah.
by one, right? You're
Yeah.
winning just one step at a time through yourself, right? And so I
Hmm.
had to, when I talk about it, same way I light up, bro. I love it. It's been my life. It's been
Yeah.
my journey,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right? And so going out there and being able to just talk to people and say, and everybody asks, well, what one by one? What does that mean? And I love having those conversations,
Yeah.
man. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
So I can
Absolutely.
I can only imagine with you. It's the same way, bro. I
Yeah.
love following your stuff and seeing and like
Mhm.
I see a lot of similarities. I could really resonate with it,
For
man. So
sure.
that's
For
yeah.
sure. And I'm glad that we see things eye to eye because, like I said before, and I mentioned it earlier, is like so many athletes like kind of identify themselves into a sport rather than understanding what is really navigating you through that sport.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So like you get it, right? But if I talk to another one of my teammates or anything like that, man, it's usually just a bit of the culture, right? That's
Hmm.
surrounded by basketball, whether it's basketball, music, girls, whatever the case may be, and things like that. But understanding, like, fall in love with the journey. Don't fall in love with the things that the game gives you, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that part of it is where there's a little bit of a disconnect with a lot of times I have with some of my teammates or, counterparts in this game.
Mm-hmm.
But the sooner I find people like yourself and others like that, I usually lock in with them. Really,
Mm-hmm.
you
For
know what I'm saying?
sure.
And it's
For
like
sure.
this is ultimately our first conversation. Is like, and we're clicking.
Hey, for y'all that don't know, this is our first conversation,
You
by
know
the
what I'm
way.
saying?
This is the first
Yeah,
time we met, really. So
yeah.
yeah. Nah,
Most,
man, it's been a pleasure, bro. I loved having you on here, man. We could
man,
talk for days, bro.
I definitely enjoyed this for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Before we get out of here, bro, I want to ask you, man, two things that I like to ask all the guests. First off, if you could name one person who has had the biggest impact in your life, I talk about big homies a lot in my life,
Mm-hmm.
right? Talk about Big Mike Frazier, talk
Yeah,
about
yeah.
Epe Udo, talk about all those guys who've been real instrumental in my journey, man. Who is one person has filled that role for you?
Oh, it has to be my father for
Okay.
sure. Just a hardworking man. Worked 3 jobs majority of my life. I think that trait of his work ethic just transferred over to me just having a basketball in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just turned into, what this product is today. And as well as my mom. My mom, she has the taste. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where, the swag and the clothes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so it's like, yeah, those two for sure.
Okay.
I really can't, you know,
What
get
about outside of family?
outside of family. Hmm.
Ex teammates, guys that you've
Yeah.
learned a lot from.
Um, when I was in high school, Ben Emeligu, he's also Nigerian. You might know who he
I
is.
know, yes, I know the name.
Yes, Ben Emeligu. Uh, there's a few more. I'll say it's a close family friend of mine. I call him my brother. His name is Marlon Amos. Shoot, he gave me a basketball when I was like a little kid. He ultimately
Hmm.
introduced me to the game. Um, and everything from what I like to listen to music wise, all the way to, you know, my daily routines and things like that. We talk daily on a daily basis. He's
Hmm.
kind of, yeah, really like my brother ultimately, but we're not blood.
Right. Okay. All right. And then the second question:
Yeah.
how do you practice self love?
Um,
How do you take care of yourself, man?
you know, just shutting everything off, I would say. Meditating, just being with myself, giving myself time. I think that's the biggest form of self love. Whenever I go on my walks out here, it's beautiful. So I've been excited to even just walk outside, to be honest.
Hmm.
Phone away, phone
Hmm.
off, everything off, just being grounded
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
I think that's my biggest practice, I would say, of self
Man,
love.
man, the older I get, the more I just cherish the times when I can just be by myself.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
hard to find those times.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so to find that time to fit into your schedule where you could just unwind, relax, be by yourself and enjoy yourself is those are the best times,
Most
man.
definitely. Most
Man,
definitely.
Cam, I appreciate you. Lastly, where can we find you? Tell the people where they can find you.
Well, I'll say my brand first. At nocosign.co. Even that's the domain. So if you type that in to your, URL, the website will pop up, and the Instagram as well. Nocosign.co.
I like how you did that.
Um, and then Cameron.McGriff on Instagram. I mean, that's usually my main app, I would say.
Yes,
So
sir.
those two avenues right there.
Yeah, make sure y'all go follow him, man. A lot of gems, man. I appreciate you. We're gonna be tapped in for sure.
We'll
You got my
definitely do
number.
that
Yeah,
for
yeah. We
sure.
got a link. We got a link, and I know we're gonna talk about some things. I want to see what Cosign doing and see if we can get
Yes,
a little
sir.
collab going, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like the tattoo. I'm definitely gonna support you. Guys send me all your links and stuff
Yeah,
too.
for sure. Yeah, we'll do a little. Yeah, same with you. I wanna cop some stuff.
For sure.
All right, my brother. Be safe, man. Have
Yes,
a good time out there in Canada, and go bring a chip back.
Will do.
All right, my brother.